Every time his GPS routes him through a town that doesn't exist, his truck breaks down. Tonight, he's finally following the detour. GPS in my pocket buzzed once. A short, insistent vibration. I pulled it out. The screen was black, except for one line of text, blinking steadily. Route complete. But I was standing in a diner that shouldn't exist, in a town that wasn't on any map, surrounded by faces that knew my name. Let me back up. I was hauling a refrigerated load through the Nevada desert. 3 in the morning. Nothing but dead air on the radio, and a sky so full of stars, it felt like someone had punched holes in the dark. The GPS flickered once, then announced a detour. Highway 93 was closed ahead, rerouting through Harlan Crossing. I'd driven this corridor for 11 years. There was no Harlan Crossing. I ignored the detour, forced the route back to the interstate. The GPS went quiet for 30 seconds, which I'd never seen it do. Then it recalculated, calm as ever, and put me right back on course. 10 miles later, the engine coughed. Not a sputter, not a warning light. A cough, like something had gotten into its lungs. Oil pressure dropped to 0. The dash went dark. I coasted to the shoulder and sat there in the sudden silence, listening to the tick of cooling metal. I popped the hood. Everything looked normal. Belts, hoses, wiring. No leaks, but when I tried to start it, the engine turned over once and stopped, like it had forgotten what combustion was. I checked the GPS again. Same detour, same town. The screen showed street names. A school, a church, a diner. The detail was too sharp for something that didn't exist. I started walking. After what felt like an hour, I saw lights. Not harsh white, but a soft amber glow. A road sign appeared. Harlan Crossing. And it's 1908. Pop 1024. The number bothered me. It was too specific. Too proud. The road changed under my feet. Asphalt gave way to cracked pavement, then to old cobblestone. The air shifted. The desert smell faded, replaced by something heavier. Coal smoke, cooking oil, wet wool. I turned a corner, and the town opened up, perfectly intact. A living place, frozen mid-century. A barber shop with a striped pole still rotating. A hardware store with used tools in the window. A diner with a neon sign that buzzed and flickered, reading only DENR. The cars on the street were 50s models, dust on the windshields. One had a child's toy dangling from the rearview mirror, turning slowly in a breeze I couldn't feel. I checked my phone. No signal, but the clock was wrong. It had jumped backward 3 hours. The GPS showed my position on a street labeled Miller Road. My last name is Miller. I noticed something else. Every clock I could see was stopped at the same time. 3:17. My wristwatch had just clicked over to 3:18. The diner door opened before I reached it. A woman in a floral dress stood in the doorway, backlit by amber glow. She looked at me like she'd been waiting. "You're late," she said. "We've been keeping your booth warm." I didn't move. "I don't know this place. I'm just passing through." She smiled. "You always say that." Behind her, faces appear in the window. Men in work shirts, women in aprons, a teenager in a Letterman jacket. They watched me with the same expression. Not hostile, not welcoming, just familiar. Like I was a relative who'd missed too many holidays. "You can't leave until you come inside," she said. "That's the rule." My feet moved anyway, like they remembered something my mind didn't. As I crossed the threshold, every head turned toward me in a slow ripple. a man at the counter stood up. He wore a trucker's cap and a jacket with a name stitched on it. My name, my full name. Thought you'd never make it back, he said. His voice was mine, but older, rougher. You always fight the route. I looked past him, toward the window. Outside, the street was empty now. No cars, no movement. Just the faint outline of my truck on the road. Already half buried in dust, like it had been there for decades. The woman touched my arm. Her fingers were cold. You can't leave until your shift starts. We've been short-handed since you left. The clock on the wall ticked once, loudly, and all the sounds of the diner fell away. For a heartbeat, there was only that single tick. Then the GPS in my pocket buzzed. Route complete. The diner lights flickered, then steadied. The faces turned back to their meals. The town exhaled around me, like it had finally gotten what it wanted. Outside, the desert wind picked up, scouring the empty streets, filling in footprints that were already fading. Somewhere, miles away, a truck sat silent on the shoulder of a road that no longer led anywhere. Its driver listed as overdue. In Harlan Crossing, the clocks all ticked forward together just once, then stopped again at 3:17. And in the diner, in a booth by the window, someone who looked very much like me sat down, picked up a coffee cup that never seemed to empty, and waited for the next lost traveler to finally follow the route home. Sometimes, the roads we travel remember more than we do. If you've ever felt drawn to a place you can't explain, drop a comment below. And remember, not every destination wants to be found.